Hello Cancer, this is your extended reading. So this second part is filled with water, and straight away when I saw the three cards that came, there are cup suits. I was just seeing how you were being cleansed while you go, because at the end of the first part you were going through a ring of fire, right? Which is an element that speaks a lot about transmutation, right? Is a really it's a really powerful and energetic and actually very spiritual element, right? Which deals with this very incredible transformation, right? But here in your second part, although the last card is a fire card also, but we'll get there. The beginning of this second part is all water, and I feel like, this cleansing of your waters, of your emotions, of your, your psyche, all your consciousness is being triggered because of this ring of fire, right? So yes, as I said, at the end of the first part, I said that here you're becoming lighter, right? And I feel like the reason, because of all these cups cards, is that your emotions are becoming cleaner, and they're being cleansed. So let's go to the cards. We start off with the Eight of Cups. So if you remember, the first card that came out in the first part was also an 8, right? But it was heavy, it was weighed down, it was it was you and another, right? Because it was this earth dense element, right? With you ahead carrying the weight of another, is what I was seeing with this card. But here in the second part, we're seeing the cups, right? Which is your realm, right? Your domain, your territory, your natural habitat, Cancer. And so here, this card is this continuation, but it's also the transmutation that is going on as you go through this ring of fire, because you leave behind this density, right? This heaviness, and you enter again your realm. But as I said, we start off with this Eight of Cups because I feel like it was this point of connection with the first part. So this is almost like a point of comparison, right? We see that the energies are clearly very different. Although here I could also mention these two axes. I'm not seeing that because the elements are different, right? This is the water realm, so you know how to navigate here, right? You know how to swim in your waters, so you are in control here, right? Which was something that I was not seeing here, right? And so I feel like this is just this this opening card of the second part to compare and contrast how different the energies are when you go through this transmutation process, right? Which is very faded, right? As we said. And so after this Eight of Cups, we go to the Five of Cups, the King of Swords, and the Four of Cups. So let's talk about this Five of Cups in comparison to this Eight of Cups. So as you see, it's a big cleanse, right? Because we go from the 8 to the 5. And here, as I said, if you were still carrying not the heavy weight from this, because this is already transmuted, but if you were still carrying the emotional triggers or the emotional weight, right, of this other person, here in this Five of Cups is where we understand, or where you see this this weight just being really lifted off your spirit, right? Off your consciousness, of your psyche. Because here you are on your own. As I said, remember, here when you dare to cross this ring of fire, you are on your own. But you are, you are very aligned with yourself. You're feeling really good. You're feeling very, like, there is no weight to carry but your own, right? And here is, it's the beginning of the cleansing process of your emotional body, right? Because if there was still some sort of burden or some sort of energetic what's the word, I don't know why I'm just hearing refill, but it's not that word. Yeah, if it was some sort of still weight here, weight, emotional weight here, right? This is being cleansed. This is being freed, right? Because here you are with none of that. It's just your emotional energies, right? Your pure psyche is like just, it's flowing so naturally. And after you do free yourself from this burden, from this emotional leftover, right? I feel like there is a very important person because, okay, so, well, usually, people and guides appear very differently in my readings, and I have to be really discerning to see which is which, right? But today is very clear in your reading, right? Because here, this character, this strength card was clearly an energetic force, right? An angel, a protector, right? In the ethers. But here, this King of Swords is coming as another person, right? So as soon as your own emotional body is cleansed, right? There is no, it's like, okay, okay, so the word that's coming through finally. Now this is the word that I wanted. It's a purging, an emotional purging, right? And so here, when you have done this purging, right, and your emotions are all cleared up, this one comes along and it feels like it's just, okay, so the way that these two are talking together, are, conversing today, is that this could be a little bit chaotic, a little bit, turbulent waters, but like, oh, how do I say it? Okay, so when we look at, the surface of a water and there's wind, right? Just like the one that blew my cards earlier in the first part, when there's wind, right? When there is a lot of thoughts, right? We cannot see clearly the surface of the water, right? It's not so still that we have the sense of peace and clarity, right? And so here, although you are not carrying this weight any longer because it has been purged, these are only your own emotions, right? It was still very unclear, right? A little bit all over the place. And this one, which is, a king that, from the mental realm, from the reason realm, from a very logical mind, right? Practical mind, but in a mental kind of way. This one appears in your life and helps you order these emotions, right? This is what I'm seeing, how these two are going together today for you, Cancer. So here, although it is your own emotions, when you cross paths with this one, right? With you, because, okay, so what I'm getting right now, especially because of the card that came next. You know, after this Four of Cups, you come here as this Queen of Cups. And so what I was seeing was that you are, you know, the queen of your own domain, the queen of the water realm, the queen of, you know, the emotions, the queen of the psyche, the queen of, you know, consciousness, right? But very emotional today, right? Very, because, you know, this King of Swords was surrounded by all of these cups card, right? And so although he is one that comes from the mental realm, right? From this airy kind of place, which feels maybe more flexible, right? But very logical, right? It feels to me that this meeting, and you know, he is the one who's helping you see that you are this Queen of Cups, because he's organizing your emotions in a very logical way, but also in a way that is, because what I'm seeing is not like he's doing it, you know, directly or verbally. It's almost like it's intuitively. It's like a telepathy kind of thing, right? That helps you see that, you know, now that your emotions are in order, right? They are clear and simplified, and they make sense to you, right? Because here, you know, they were all yours, but still they were unclear, right? Because perhaps you have lived your whole life, you know, carrying this burden and not being able to decipher or distinguish which emotions were yours or not, right? And here I feel like finally, perhaps for the first time in your life, you're seeing that these are your emotions and no one else's, right? And this allows this, you know, this clearing up allows for this one to come along and help you organize, to make sense, to, you know, just order your emotions, right? In a way that is not convoluted, in a way that is not unclear. It's actually very, very clear, right? And so once you realize that you are this Queen of Cups, it's almost like you become this very sovereign being, right, in your own realm, because you have dared to go through this ring of fire, right? And you understand that there is a lot of power in your emotions, in your intuition, right? But in your psychic abilities, but it's coming through emotions, right? It's almost like your emotions are your superpower in a way, right? And so the cards that followed this Queen of Cups, no, okay, I'm back. Perhaps the next video I'll just do inside, because this wind is crazy, or perhaps it is part of your reading. I don't know. I haven't, I don't know. We'll see. So, okay. So perhaps it is Cancer part of your reading, because I feel like this is it's almost like this sign, this signal that you receive once you realize that you are this powerful creature, this sovereign being, right? Queen of your own domain, queen of your own emotions. And so I was saying that here, the cards that followed were the Knight of Swords and the Nine of Wands. And so this one, I was, you know, questioning whether or not he was related to the, oh, my cards are all over the place. But I was questioning if this Knight of Swords was connected to this King of Swords. And it felt to me like, you know, this could be so the way that it's coming through because of the images is almost like this is this guy, this energy, this person works for this King of Swords. But, you know, because I was seeing this as a guard, you know, of the kingdom of this king. But it doesn't matter. Whoever this one is, it feels like, okay, so the message that I'm getting is that because this King of Swords was surrounded by all of the Cups cards, right, which is your domain, right, as, you know, this Queen of Cups, this guy was helping you see that you had a really big and powerful territory, you know, a kingdom, a queendom of your own, right, as this Queen of Cups, you know, and your queendom is your emotional realm, right? But he was in the middle, right? He was being surrounded by your emotions. And so it's almost like this Knight of Swords is a representative, like a spokesperson, right, to greet you to their kingdom, which is this, right? Because today this Nine of Wands is coming almost like an expensive version of this Ring of Fire. Because if this was a Ring of Fire that you had to go on your own, that was made just for you, here, you know, they see, you know, this King of Swords see that, okay, so what's coming through right now, and because you're equals, right, you have come to a point of sovereignty that you can now enter their domain too. Do you see what I mean? And it's not only, you know, very airy, it's also a lot of fire, right? And this is almost like the entryway to their domain. And so he is now, you know, greeting you or calling you, you know, through this spokesperson to okay, so the way that it's coming through is like he sends someone to keep you company while you enter their realm, right? And so you are going through, you know, it's this expansion of a Ring of Fire, but you have someone there with you from this realm, right? Incarnated, it feels like, right? And so this is an energy that it's almost like you're entering a new territory, right? But you're being invited by this one. And so this is, it feels to me like there's more, right? That it doesn't end here. It's actually just the beginning, right? But the reading ends here. Yet, the bottom of the deck today had a lot of energies. And I'm going to show you the 4 main energies because I feel like this is just the beginning actually. So, we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Magician, the High Priestess, and the Empress. And so, to me, today, the reason I'm saying is that you're crossing, you know, a bridge to you know, the realm of another, right? To the kingdom of another, that it feels like a very precious and rare opportunity, right? That is really tangible, right? It is really there. It is something that you can actually walk the walk, you know what I mean? And so here comes these two, the Magician and the High Priestess, which to me are, you know, because oh my god, my cards are all over the place. But here in the first part you had these two energies that felt very ethereal, right? This guardian angel, very strong, very potent, very brave, right? Giving you all the courage to go through this Ring of Fire, but, you know, very energetic beings, right? And here, these two are coming as very energetic beings, but it's almost like they are, you know, the higher version of king and queen in this, you know, psychic realm, in this consciousness, in this energetic realm, which you did arrive at once you crossed this ring of fire, this portal of fire, right? And so these two are almost like they're not greeting you, but they are, okay, so this is really gorgeous because the way that they are talking to me right now is almost like they're crowning you from this Queen of Cups, which, you know, the King of Swords helped to make you realize that you were this really sovereign being. But now these two, which feel very energetic, very, you know, higher dimension beings, right? Very cosmic beings, right? But very powerful, both of them, right? Almost like this king and queen of, you know, the higher realms, right? But they see your transformational process, and they are crowning you to go from this place, which is already very sovereign, very high standard, right? But now you're becoming this Empress. So you see, like, it's, to me, they are one and the same, but this is almost like a human perspective, you know, very emotional, which is your territory, your field of expertise, or your, you know, your domain, right, Cancer? But now you're becoming, because you went through all of this process, right? You're entering this higher realms, this higher dimension in your consciousness, in your psyche, that allows you to be, you know, a sovereign being, not in a human way, but also, you know, in all dimensions, in all aspects of your being. You know, this is so grand. This is way more than any words could express, but this is, you know, your human expression of this powerful being that you are, right? And so after all of this, with all of these cards, and my cards are all over the place, you wouldn't want to see, I'm going to pull the astrological runes as a final guidance for you. Yeah, because as I said, it's a new opportunity, right? You're crossing this really crucial point as you cross this ring of fire. So let's see what the final guidance is. Okay, this is interesting. The rune that came through was Saturn. And Saturn, you know, could be a really challenging energy because, well, first of all, Saturn in mythology, in ancient mythology, is known to be Kronos, right? The god of time, right? So it requires patience and dedication and work and effort, and, you know, just this you know, the effort to prove yourself that you are committed to something, right? And so it feels to me like a strengthening process that you went through. As I said, I saw that in the first card with the Eight of Pentacles in the first part of your reading. So to me, this final guidance is almost like this reward, right? You have come a long, long, long way, Cancer. So this is your reward, right? This new path that is opening up, that, you know, you are very sovereign, that you are very aligned with your own element, with your emotions, that your emotions are, you know, cleansed, they're cleared, they're much more organized and, you know, in order, that you can perceive them more clearly, and all of the obstacles that you may have gone through, you know, throughout your life, or perhaps, you know, lifetimes, you know, all of the elements now are falling into place. You have the perfect keys to the perfect locks, you know, to unlock this very, very crucial, very, you know, it is like it is a very decisive point in your life, right? This transmutation that is going on with you, this cleansing that is going on with your emotions, right? And this sovereignty that is just coming through, and it's very regal too, right? Because I usually see, you know, this lion as a very regal being. And so I feel like here it is, your reward has come finally, right? After a long journey, and perhaps very heavy too, right? So I hope you enjoyed your reading. I'm sorry if it was a little bit, you know, all over the place, because I'm here in a different location, so I have to just be flexible and, you know, adapt. And I didn't want to leave you without a reading because the message that came through was so beautiful. I hope I conveyed it in a way that it was understandable, and yeah, I hope it was enlightening to you if you're going through this. Yeah, I hope it is a very, you know, transformative process. So thank you so much for being here with me. I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.